Now that's how you make episodes, TBD. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah, and this is the channel Book Nerds and Fangirls. And today we'll be discussing Vampire Diaries, episode 10 of season 8. And boy, was this one a doozy. I'm sorry if I haven't been reviewing Vampire Diaries for a while. It's just that I got so ticked off at some of the storylines that have been happening that I just stopped making them. But the last two episodes have been the bomb. Like the first episode with Stefan and Damon and Tara. That was a good episode. Wasn't great. The Christmas episode was a good episode. Wasn't great either. I liked when Damon ripped Sybil's heart out. That was the only thing I liked that part when he remembered Elena, because that was awesome and badass. And Sybil was about to kiss him, and he just rips her heart out of her chest. And oh my god, I just loved it so much, because that's what you get for messing with Elena, bitch. Totally love it. But they do really need to stop name dropping Elena every episode, because yeah, I get she's an important part, and they want to make her an important part because, guys, we got the best news this week. We got the news that Nia Dobrev is going to be back for the finale, which means Elena is going to be back, or Catherine. Which one do you think she'll play? Comment down below, let me know, because, it'd be awesome if I got some closure for Damon and Elena, because that would be nice. And then, I don't know if we had an episode after the whole Stefan losing control. Oh yeah, by the way, Stefan is ripping again, and I actually tend to like Ripper Stefan better than I like Nice Stefan, because at least Ripper Stefan isn't the biggest hypocrite ever to me. I don't like the way he treats people, but I do like the fact that he owns up to what he is. And to be perfectly fair, Paul Weasley is more hilarious when he's playing bad, because playing bad is just so much more fun than playing a good guy. And I'm pretty sure he's relieved to not be playing Stefan. Good Stefan, but evil Stefan, because he tends to swing towards that more sometimes. Because playing evil is just more fun for him, I guess. But Miss Mystic Falls was the other episode, and oh my god, I love this episode so much because of Damon and Elena nostalgia. Even though Stefan called their love story a barf-worthy love story, I didn't care, because guess what? I felt the same way about Stelena and Steroline, so TVD is good at producing barf-worthy stories, no matter who you root for. They're just good at it. It's kind of like, you don't like this couple, barf, whatever, we all have our opinions here. But I was so glad that we got Damon and Caroline seasons, because Caroline has every right to hate Damon for what he did her in season 1. But oh my god, the moments whenever she just puts aside her feelings, whatever feelings she has towards him, and tries to get him to remember Elena, and said, epic love story like yours and Elena's has to be real. It has to be in there somewhere, and it was beautiful. It was just, that episode was beautiful. I loved Damon and Caroline getting along, even though it's just passive aggressive getting along. Caroline reminding Damon why the necklace had so much significant importance to him, how important him and Elena were, how he's, I loved that one scene where Sybil is trying to get in his head, and at first it's something with him and Elena, and she turns, and Damon's in the doorway, and he's all like, Elena, and then Sybil just looks at him and says, you need to get a grip. And of course she's wearing the blue dress that Elena wore at Miss Mystic Falls, so that kind of made me mad. Well, she's not wearing the exact dress. She's wearing the same color, though. color though. So what Damon does, and he's like, you know what, you're right. And he smashes her head against the mirror. And then she pops out looking like so hurt out of his head and said, how do you do that? And he's like, oh, I don't know, but I hope it hurt. And I'm like, thank God he's fighting back. And I love it. I love it. And the Dareline moment with her reminding the necklace. And then the Damon and Caroline dance. And then the Bonnie and Enzo dance, even though I was pissed at Bonnie up until this episode because, you know, I think we're good. I think we're even with Bonnie now for screwing over Damon in the last not in the last episode, but I still hate that she is trying to give the cure to Enzo when she knows the only way to get the cure is to open Elena's casket, which she can't open without fucking magic. So how is she supposed to open Elena's casket? That's my thing. I think she's like, what happens if I can get you the cure? No, screw you. You are not fucking over both Damon and Elena in the same season, honey. I will not allow it, damn it. But she probably will. But Sybil told Caroline that in this episode, and it was awesome. Awesome, and I loved when, I know a lot of people thought it was mean whenever Damon knocked Sybil out saying the more you try to push her out, the more I realize that there's not room in my mind for the both of you. And then he just knocks her out, and I'm like, yes. And Stone decides to go solo, you know. But he changes his mind in this episode, and it's very like, okay, whatever. Fine, whatever. And then a lot of people thought Damon was cruel whenever he made Sybil cry because, you know, yeah, sure, I'd be nice to someone who invaded my mind and erased my lover's existence out of my mind. No way, he has every right to be pissed at her, just like Caroline had every right to be pissed at him. It's like, if you really love someone, why would you do that to them? And then she gives him back his memories, and not his memories, she gives him back his humanity, like all his humanity, which leaves him in where we're at in this episode, which is in a catatonic state. Now I get to discuss this episode because I have so many feels about this episode. This episode, for starters, was great. Like, everything was great. The performances packed a real emotional punch for me and for faithful lovers of TVD because they brought back not one, but 3 of the old characters. No, wait, not 3. 4 of the old characters that they killed off in Damon's subconscious, and it was beautiful. I just love seeing all of them again, and it was nostalgia. And is it me, or did the girl who played Vicky get really prettier as she aged? Because she was so pretty. I just wanted to state that she was really pretty in this episode. But let's get talking about this episode. So, Caroline's moping, and Bonnie is going for a jog, and Bonnie goes to the Salvatore house because Caroline's moping around in Salvatore house. Damon's sitting up on the couch in this catatonic state because Sybil put him in a catatonic state. I don't know how the fuck he like got up in that chair and he's sitting, because he was like literally on the floor of Sybil's cell, and Sybil has literally not been unlocked from her cell, so that was a little bit of a goof on their part, because how could Damon in his catatonic state move from where he was passed out in the cellar to the flippin' Salvatore couch? So he sat up there. Caroline and Bonnie go to visit Sybil in the cellar. They let Sybil out in agreement to have her help them with Damon, because they can't get into Damon's mind, because all they see is a picture of him burning like in hell, like he's in pain and suffering. And then Sybil's all like, I'll help you in exchange for the bells. So Caroline calls Matt, and Matt's all like, good, I want to see him suffer. And then he tells his dad, and his dad wants to see him suffer too. So there's the whole Belle business on top of Damon being comatose in a catatonic state. But we're going to talk about the Belle business first, because I just want to get that out of the way, because it was not my least favorite, but it was the part. So Damon's catatonic state, and Steven's running around playing both sides, like making a deal with Celine, making a deal with Sybil very slyly. So he makes a deal with Celine, Matt has to ring the bell. Matt's compelled to ring the bell within an hour. Which doesn't happen, because we'll talk about why it doesn't happen, but still, it's further redemption storyline, so we'll get to how this was basically Damon trying to find redemption for his sins, and I totally love that, because, Damon's not the most apologetic person in the world when it comes to things, and he just, totally nails it in this thing. It's another side of Damon that we really haven't seen before, except when he's with Elena, and oh my god, I totally loved it. I totally loved the new dynamic for Damon, trying to do redemption and whatnot. Because that's not a side of him that we see very often, and when we do, no one really acknowledges that he does that, but a lot of people did in this episode, which I really liked. I really liked that they appreciated Damon for what he did in this episode, because it was just such a refresher. People remember why Damon is so great. So great. While Damon tries to apologize to them. So it's an awesome dynamic all around in this episode. And another thing I really like about this episode is that it pushes Steven and Damon away in this episode, because they seem to make, like always, they're the main focus of the show, but this episode concentrates more on the side characters in this, and I totally love it. It's totally awesome. I love that they concentrated on Bonnie, Caroline, and Matt, and his dad. And Sybil and Celine more in this episode, because it just seems like sometimes they float in the background. In this episode, they were front and center, while Damon and Steven were more behind the scenes in this episode, and I totally love the change. Whoever wrote this episode is a genius, and should be hired a lot more, and probably should have written more TVD episodes, because when I look at his name, I don't really remember his name. When I look at his name, I don't really know the writer, but he is fantastic at writing. Because this episode was so good, and it's one of the best of season 8 I've seen so far, and I love how they keep getting better and better, because the first half of season 8 was weak. I hated it, but now I'm starting to get used to it, and I'm starting to love it more and more. And with the addition of Nina and Brad being back in the finale, it's gonna be a good finale, no matter what happens. And I'll discuss my concerns here in a minute. But we'll start off with Damon in this catatonic state. So the first thing we see when we get into this catatonic state is the Mystic Falls girl, and then we see Vicky Donovan. And like I said, Vicky is looking pretty. She has this big patch on her neck. We think it's where Damon bit her, but it's really a hickey, and I found that hilarious. I like how nice she was in this episode, because we didn't really get to see the nice part of Vicky Donovan when she was alive, and I liked that about her. I like that we had mentions of Vicky throughout this. I like how we had mentions of her in Damon's comatose state, while in the real life Matt was at her grave visiting her, and how both her and Matt's dad said that leaving him and Vicky were the two biggest regrets of his life. I loved that. That was awesome. That was a redemption moment for whatever the hell his name is. Sorry, I keep on forgetting Matt's dad's name. And it's very weird. Weird, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, we're just over here. We see Vicky and other stuff. Caroline sees her mom in this episode. Guys, like, at first Caroline says, "Oh my god," and Bonnie says, "What is it?" And then we see that it's Sheriff Forbes working on a case, and I'm like, "Oh my god, Liz is back, yes." Yes, and the line, I swear, this episode made me cry so much. So much, because Caroline said, "Oh my god, I forgot how pretty she was," because it's been about 5 or 6 years, I think, since Caroline's mom has died at this point, and that line just made me cry, because I know what it's like to lose a loved one and forget the details of their face, and then you forget things, and that was just like a real grieving moment of seeing your loved ones again. And Bonnie tells her, "Go ahead and talk with your mom." So Caroline goes to talk to her mom, and it was just like such an awesome moment. Because we had the whole Caroline and her mom hugging, and everything's fun and dandy until Caroline brings up Damon, who in this world does not exist because he died. He died somehow. I don't know how he died in this. I think Liz explained it, but I can't really remember. But this is a world where Damon doesn't exist. And apparently, in a world where Damon doesn't exist, there's still a vampire running around killing people. And we found out later that it's actually Stefan that's killing people. Because, I don't know. I guess he just needed a brother that was a dick to keep him in check all these years. But I don't know. They didn't really get into that when Damon said, "The vampire that's running around in my mind, it's not me, Stefan, it's you." And I'm like, "Who?" But we'll get to that in a minute. That's the one part I didn't like about Damon in this episode. But we'll get to that in a minute, because we still have to go through the Caroline torture scene. So Caroline's mom veins her and goes, "Hi, you're the vampire I'm looking for." And then she brings her to a that torture thing where her dad put her in season 2, I think. Yeah, it was season 2 when her dad did that to her. But now her mom's doing that to her, and she's trying to explain that Damon is her friend, and Damon was there, and she's like, "Stop lying." Liz is like, "Stop lying, Caroline," and she's all like, "No, Mom, Damon's not dead, you are." And then her mom's just wondering what she's talking about. And this is like a beautiful Caroline moment where Damon is not present, but he knows what Caroline is saying because it's in his head. So she states that whenever Liz was dying, Damon was the one that was there for. There was only one person that was actually really there for her from the start, and that was Damon. And I totally loved that. Love that she acknowledged that. I also love the fact that she acknowledged that whenever her mother died, the only person that really got what she was going through was Damon. Because I remember that one scene of them in the kitchen back in season 6 where he said, the funeral will be the easy part, it's days afterwards that are gonna kill you. And she remembers that, and she remembers Damon saying that, and her mom's eulogy, what he wrote about her, and then she said because of that is the reason why everything bad thing that Damon had ever did to her suddenly didn't matter to her anymore. And that was like a beautiful line. It was like, it has really, it's been 11 years at this point since Damon did things to her. So that's kind of like a beautiful moment of letting go and moving on and moving past it. And I really did like that because I hate it when Damon and Caroline fight. I know they're frenemies, but I don't really like that they fight. Caroline has every reason to hate Damon. I'm not putting down. I'm not excusing him for the fact that he abused her in the relationship. So I don't automatically forgive Damon for that. Like, there have been people I've been claiming I forgive Damon for everything, and I really don't. I get that he does awful things, but I also get that everyone in Vampire Diaries does awful things. And Ian Somerhalder really is a really great guy in real life, so that's why I think I like Damon a lot more, because his actor. His actor and his character is just so well written, and it's impossible not to love him, or at least like him a little bit, for me at least, even when he does awful things. But I don't automatically forgive him for everything. I just like to point that out before we move on. So, next we have Bonnie, and Bonnie goes to go visit her Grams, and we see Grams again, and it's awesome. And she asks her grandma to do a locator spell, and then her grandma's all like, well, you know, we have to have something from Damon to locate him, right? Right, and this was after Bonnie told her Graham she was already affiliated with so many vampires. Her friends are vampires, and she was in love with vampire, and her grandma said, "Oh, child, you're not making this any easier for me," which I thought was hilarious, and I totally loved everything about that conversation. So she holds up the letter, and she explains that she never read this letter, but she knows Damon sent it to her. She put it in there because she put it there because the only way she would read that letter is if he said it to her in person. So they use the letter to do the locator spell on Damon, which brings Bonnie to a site where I believe it's a Salvatore crypt, because Elena's casket was in there, I think. Was what it was. I think that was a Salvatore crypt. I can't really remember. At this point, it's been a while since I watched the episode, so I have to correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments if it was or wasn't a Salvatore crypt. But she goes to Salvatore crypt, and meanwhile, back in the present day, Stefan creating all kinds of chaos with Matt and his dad, and ringing of the bell, and compelling Matt to ring the bell 12 times because that will burn Mystic Falls to the ground. The ground within anyone's range. And Celine promises that would kill at least 1,000 souls for Cade. Because apparently Cade wants more souls because they're not meeting their quota of killing people. And I'm like, you have to have a quota of killing people? How is that possible? I have no clue, but meh. So he's compelling Matt to ring the bell, and of course they have this conversation, and Matt's all like, you have to kill me if I ring that bell, and other stuff, and yada yada. And then, back in the present day, Sybil and Caroline are also discussing the fact that Bonnie is thinking about giving Enzo the cure, and of course Caroline doesn't know this, but she's not gonna let Sybil know that she doesn't know this, so she plays along, says that her and Bonnie were talking about it before they found Damon in a comatose state. So we go back into self-conscious, and Bonnie finds Tyler, and of course Tyler's still pissed off about Damon killing him, which is, it's not weird because I don't think Damon wants anyone to forgive him for killing Tyler, so he still makes Tyler mad about it and says, good, he deserves to die, he deserves to rot in hell, yada yada. And then Bonnie finds something. I can't remember what she found that made her draw clues to the fact that they had to contact Steven, because it was Steven who Damon really wanted to talk to. He didn't want to talk to Caroline in his mind. He wanted to talk to Bonnie in his mind. He just really wanted Steven there. And at first we thought he wanted Steven there because he was going to apologize to Steven for what he did to him, which, you know, there's been countless things that both Damon and Steven done to each other. They can literally write down a whole list and spend like a whole episode talking about what they've done to each other. So Steven agrees to go in Damon's mind only to get his brother to meet his quota for selling souls to Cade and yada yada. So he goes in Damon's mind, and Damon he finds Damon, he's like, really, Damon? Because a graveyard, could you be any more, I can't remember what he said. What he said, I think it was something along the lines of predictable. Could you be any more predictable? And I'm just like, that was laughable and funny, and I actually really liked that. So Damon, of course, says hello, brother, and I'm just over here like, the hello, brother, that line that Damon always uses, and then Steven's like, well, I forgive you for whatever you did. Now, could you just, like, wake up so we could leave or something? Or something. And then Damon's like, I think you're mistaken, Steven, because I'm not here to have you forgive me. I'm here to forgive you. And then, I don't know why it made me so mad that Damon would say that. I wish they would have had, like, I guess it was just, like, how the writers wrote it. Right? That was the only issue I had of this episode. If Damon was going down the redemption train, he probably should have apologized to Steven for a few things that he's done to Steven, but at the same time, I like the fact that he finally forgave Steven for turning him into a vampire, which, you know, I thought that was all forgiven, and apparently Damon did too. He's all like, I forgive you for turning me into a vampire when I didn't want to turn into a vampire, because I love you, Steven, and you're my brother, and you'll always be my brother, and I'll always love you. Love you no matter what you do. And then Steven gets so pissed off that Damon did not apologize to him for whatever. There could be a number of reasons why he didn't apologize, like forcing Steven into servitude. I guess that's what he was referring to, but, well, I don't know. I guess they need more conflict. I think they can't resolve the Steven and Damon issue as of yet, because we need a couple more episodes apparently of Steven with his humanity off, so Damon has to still be a dick to Steven. Even though I love Damon, I love Damon. It's just, I could actually admit when he's being a dick, and he is being a little bit of a dick, but it's not like, sometimes it's misplaced, but sometimes not, and this was a misplaced dick moment, which is why I got mad at Damon, but I still love Damon. He's still one of my favorite characters of the series. I don't hate Steven as much as I used to, but Steven's kind of like, for me right now. He's at that I'm okay with him stage. Sometimes I really can't stand Steven, and sometimes I really love Steven, and sometimes I'm just in between with Steven, because all the characters have those moments where you love them, hate them, or you just don't really care about them at the moment. So, Steven, being mad, tells Damon about his plan to burn Mystic Falls to the ground before punching him, and Damon still says, I forgive you, yada yada. yada yada. And then he's all like, whatever. And then he gets out of Damon's mind, like, yada yada. He gets out of Damon's mind, and then Matt is ringing the bell. We get to Matt ringing the bell, and Matt's ringing the bell while punching his dad and trying to kill him because he's trying to interfere with Matt ringing the bell. So he's ringing the bell, and his dad's begging him to stop ringing the bell, or else he'll burn Mystic Falls to the ground. And Matt can't really do that because Stefan compelled him to keep ringing the bell 12 times. So he keeps ringing the bell. We still think that Damon is in a catatonic state. And Stefan's, I don't know what Stefan is doing, but I said something about screwing Damon over. Damon wakes up out of his catatonic state. I think he rips Stefan's heart out and instantly kills him. And then he goes to where Matt is at, rushes towards Matt, and then dings on the 11 when he's about to hit that 12th ring and kill everyone within Mystic Falls. He literally gets his head bashed into the bell by Damon, and Damon's just like, well, I hope that doesn't count. And that was hilarious. And I totally loved it, and I was laughing out loud with that. And then we have this moment after Damon smashes Matt's head to the bell. And it was just so awesome because, Damon and Matt, they're pure enemies. They're not friends. They don't like each other. We already established that they both hate each other at this point. So Damon, on his redemption run for wanting people to forgive him in this episode, and like giving people forgiveness, tells Matt, I know I haven't said this before, and I probably should have said this sooner, but I'm sorry for killing Vicky. I know no matter how many times I apologize for that, you'll never forgive me. I just want you to let you know how truly sorry I am for that. And I'm like, awesome. Damon apologizing for things that Damon hasn't really apologized for. My thing is, has Damon like always had his humanity teetering on the edges? That's my thing. It just seems like suddenly now he's on his big redemption run whenever all his humanity is back, because I think he's always been teetering on the edges of his humanity. He'll switch it on for Elena, but every time he needs to do something, he switches it off, because I guess he's a master at flipping it off and back on like no one's business. I don't know how he ever really does that, but I guess it's just because he teeters on the edge of his humanity switch all the time, because he's just used to turning it on and back off like a light switch. So, he said something about forgiveness, and then Matt's like, yeah, you're right, I'll never forgive you, but, you did save our town by bashing my head to the bell, so I guess you're forgiven a little bit. And then Damon says, so does this make us even? And then Matt's like, not even close. And I'm like, I'm glad that they told Matt, they had Matt's line to be not even close, because Damon has still done quite a few things, and of course Tyler's still dead, and Matt blames him for that. And yeah, he blames himself for that too. I think killing Tyler is the biggest regret of his life at this point. So yeah, I do like that. And then he's all like, but if you keep on doing what you're doing, and being a good person, then maybe I'll forgive you later. And I like that. And then Damon's all like, hey, do you want to ride home? And Matt says, nah, I'm gonna go apply to be the new sheriff. I heard they need a new one of those. And then he's all like, good luck, I always did like the sheriffs in this town. And I'm like, another reference towards Liz. And I'm all like, I just totally love it. And I totally love the moments Damon has with each of these characters. And then we get to the stair line scene. And you guys know me, I'm not the hugest fan of Stairline. In fact, I think they're the worst couple in the Vampire Diaries. Well, I wouldn't say the worst, but they're like, on top of canon couples, they're like number maybe 6 for me. 6 for me when it comes to the worst. Like, maybe not that harsh. I think they're like on number 9 or 10 for worst couples on TVD because their chemistry, I just don't see it. But in that moment, when Stephen was locked to the cellar and Caroline said that she's not leaving him, and she'll try her damnedest to bring him back to her, that really reminded me a lot about Damon and Elena. And I did like that, and I really liked that dynamic, and I really liked how Caroline's just not going to abandon him just because he's being an asshole. So I really like that dynamic. It really tugged at my heartstrings a little bit, but this whole episode has tugged at my heartstrings. And then we get to the part of the episode that made me bawl like a flippin' baby. So the scene I'm talking about, and this is such a beautiful scene. Whoever wrote this scene, A++, like greatest Damon scene ever in my mind. So Bonnie is hanging around at her Grams' house, I believe, is where she's at. And Damon comes up to her, and he says, sorry for ruining your nostalgic moment, or something like that. And she's like, it's okay, and other stuff. And then Damon sits down, he's just looking quietly, and then she's all like, you know, you didn't mean to kill Tyler. You can't help the fact of what Sybil did to you. And then he doesn't agree with her or anything. But then we hear, Dear Bonnie, and I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna read her his letter. And the first line just made me start bawling. He's like, I'm a coward. I'm writing you this note instead of talking to you about it. But I know if I saw your face, I would want to stay because you make me a good person, just like Elena made me a good person. I know you would bring out the good of me just like she did. And he references that he'd rather have her be pissed off at him for this one thing than continue to mess up and disappoint her time after time. He also says in the letter, because he just wants her to be happy, because it's what she deserves, is a life full of happiness, because she's kind and compassionate, and she's a mediocre crossword puzzle player because of the crosswords that they played together when they were in the time loop thing, the prison world. That was a nice line to throw in. And the line that literally broke me was, because you're my best, and because you, Bonnie Bennett, are my best friend. And I'm just over here like, oh my god, this letter just broke me. And then he's like, yours true, and something forever with love, or something like that, Damon Salvatore. And she's all like, that was a hell of a letter. And I think the thing that brought real emotion to me was how great that scene was between Ian and Kat. You could see their chemistry in that moment, and it was a beautiful moment. There's tears in her eyes whenever she said it, and then we get a hug, and I'm like, I can see why people ship them as a couple. Because interesting fact, did you guys know that they were actually supposed to be together? They're actually together in the book, that Bonnie actually makes Damon a better, instead of Elena making Damon a better person, Bonnie is supposed to make Damon a better person in the books, and Bonnie and Damon were supposed to be together, so I guess that's a nice thing to see for the people who read the books, because unlike in the books where Bonnie and Damon are canon, Bonnie and Damon will never be canon in the show. In the show, they'll always stay friends, because that's the dynamic that works for them. Bonnie and Damon are friends in the TV show, and Damon and Elena are soulmates in the TV show. Well, the book is totally topsy-turvy. And Bonnie and Damon are together, and so are Steven and Elena. And I found that interesting, but I don't really like Steven and Elena as a couple. It's not that they're bad or anything as a couple, it's just, I don't know, I guess years of room for Delana, you start going like, I'm not really a huge Delana fan. They're cute, but cute doesn't really equate to anything in my book. And I like the way you treated her, and it's like, I think this is like one of the best love triangles on TV. Honestly, because both brothers were pretty good for her, in my opinion. They both brought good relationships to the table, and I know people think Damon and Elena's relationship is really toxic, but I just love their relationship. I can't pin it. It's just the way he's a bad boy and he's only good for her. It's like, it's an overused trope, but it's like my favorite trope, so yeah. Yeah, it's every girl's dream over there. Well, not every girl's, but like some girls. Yeah, and then we get to the last part of the episode, which was Celine and Sybil at the diner, and they're having this talk, and Sybil just wants them to end the fighting and bickering and other stuff. And then Celine wants Sybil to apologize to her, and Sybil's like, are you kidding me? Apologize to you? You're the one who turned me into a cannibal and left me in a whatever that was. I think it was a tomb. Oh yeah, and then you left me in a tomb to rot for 1,000 years. And Celine's like, right, you're right. But you know what else? I would do it again in a heartbeat because you are weak. And then Sybil's like, and they're bickering. And then we see Cade, and I'm like, oh shit, what's Cade doing in the real world? And now Cade is pissed about something. And then he's like, you two are still fighting even after all these years, yada yada. And then they're saying, what are you doing here? And he's all like, well, someone rang the bell 11 times. It wasn't enough to actually wipe out all this town full of souls in it, but it was definitely enough to alert me to what was going on. And then, he said that they're done, and then they start smoking, and Sybil and Selena are like, what are you doing to us? And then, best moment ever, they burst into flames and go to hell. Cade sends them to hell, and I'm like, yay, no more Sybil. I mean, all it took was Cade to get rid of her, but I appreciate that Sybil's gone. She was a good villain while she lasted, but her always messing with Damon and no one else really was pissing me off. So, that was a good one, although I'm sad that Elena will never get to punch her in the face, but I guess I did get my wish, and my wish with Sybil getting turned into a fish stick. Fish stick, because the girl definitely fried right there. Right there. It's like, it's an empty diner, and I guess no one's there, and I'm like, well, I guess they like siren people to leave them alone, but still, you think someone knows that. And I'm like, whatever. It's like, I loved it. This episode was actually really great. Great, and I loved it. And I appreciated the redemption storyline, even though it concerns me with the redemption storyline. Because usually the people who are on the road to redemption that have storylines usually die at the end. And I really don't want Damon to be the one to die in the series finale. But, you know, it's just, I really hope he doesn't. I really hope I get my delay and a happy ending, but I'm not keeping my hopes up for that one. That one at the end of TBD. I'm just gonna go in with low expectations and not hope anything, and that way I won't be disappointed by this like I was How I Met Your Mother. Now that was a horrible ending. And thanks to Nina Dobrev for posting the picture to her Instagram, letting us all know that she was back. Also, giving us a little bit of a secret. She took a picture of her script, which had the final episode's name on it, and I just thought it was so perfect because it's a Lexi quote, and we haven't had a Lexi quote, and it's a perfect way to include Ariel Keppel in there if bringing her back. And the episode's title was I Was Feeling Epic. And I'm all like, oh my god, that is so perfect. I was feeling epic. And I'm all like, It was just, I'm just like, I'm so happy, and I am glad that she's back, because that means we get some resolution with Elena being there, or Catherine, whichever one she decides to be. She can be both for all we know. Oh, I know, but it would be an interesting thing to see. We'll see what happens. What happens in the next couple of episodes, because we only got 6 weeks into the finale. I think it's 6 weeks. And on the last week, I do have a somewhat special announcement for you guys. I will be doing a week-long video spree dedicated to Vampire Diaries. I will have more information about it as it becomes sooner, because I will have my favorite quotes from the series, my favorite songs from the series. I will also have the cry-worthy moments from the series, because this episode definitely made me cry, and I'll be preparing that for you guys, and I, for one, can't wait. It'll be, like, an awesome week, and I can't wait, and it really hit me that this is coming to an end soon, and that this has been probably one of the best series I've seen in my life, and I will have Crazy Ex-Girlfriend up for you soon, possibly, as well as the new show Riverdale I will be watching, so I'll have a review for that. But for now, my lovelies, I will talk to you next week, and I will try not to go 4 weeks, a month, without talking to you guys about Vampire Diaries, and I will see you guys later. Bye!